Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Now, before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of this business. It is a display advertising and Amazon Associates business created in August 2019 in the automotive niche. The average monthly revenue for the business is $21,294 and makes an average of $16,290 per month in net profit. And the assets included in the sale are the domain, including all site content and files, an email list with a little under 100 subscribers, 6 content templates, social media accounts, which include Pinterest and LinkedIn, and a database of over 500 unique vehicle images taken by the owner. So for everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 69365 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So that is a brief overview of the business for sale. Let's hear from the seller with me today. So welcome to the show, Morten. How are you doing today?
Thanks, I'm good. How are yourself?
I'm doing great as well. It's great to have you on, and I'm looking forward to learning more about you and, of course, your business. So to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses and in general, or you can talk about this business in particular, but yeah, I'd love to hear your background in general.
Yeah, so my background really is in SEO and also PR. So I've been doing SEO and bigger PR, you can say outreach campaigns for larger companies. Leading back 15 years, since 2007 or 8, I started dabbling around in e-commerce and SEO. Yeah, so that's my background. And yeah, but this business here, it's been a really, really fun project I've been working on for the last couple of years, taking up a good majority of my own time.
Got it. So you had kind of dabbled in both e-commerce as well as websites. And it sounds like you've ultimately decided that the website direction is more of the direction that fits for you.
Yeah, because my wife and I wanted more like a travel lifestyle where we could get to enough things and we didn't want to be super hands-on. So after building like larger teams with customer service and production and all that stuff, we just wanted to try something else. And we could see back then, more than a decade ago, a huge opportunity arising into the blogging space or in content sites, sending us a lot of traffic back then. So we thought maybe that's a good place to place your bets.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the bet has certainly paid off now. And it's been a few years since you've owned this site. So why are you deciding to sell the business instead of keeping it and growing it further?
So we decided to buy some property and we thought it would be a good time to take some money out and do that also because as bank interests been going up, we thought would turn some of the business into cash and cover some of that at this point.
Nice. Makes sense. Going from online to more brick and mortar, I guess you could say.
Yeah, just diversifying a bit. We have another bigger site as well. So yeah, we thought it made sense to do it this way at this point.
Nice. So you grew this site, I would say relatively quickly. It's been only a few years. So what would you say either that you learned from building this business that worked, or what would you say is kind of your philosophy or your technique or something that you think contributed to the success of this business?
Yeah, so you can say I saw firsthand how to build a site like this from doing it without doing link building. Actually, I never did any outreach or any email campaigns in order to build links or bought any links or anything like that. So that was a huge learning for me because, as I said, I've been doing SEO for 15 years. So definitely been building links in the past, but not to this site. So that was a good learning and a really fun experience. And I also got a whole lot better at keyword research. I did a ton of keyword research on this early on. And you can say that's basically how I got this site off the ground without link building. Just scouting for keywords and really going deep into the weeds, finding stuff to write on that didn't have a lot of competition. So a fresh new domain could rank for it early on.
Yeah. And is that kind of in general how you went about choosing the niche as well? Or did you just choose kind of broad niche that tends to be a good niche and then you just know that you can, I don't know, research people in terms of keywords?
Yeah, I was actually doing quite a lot of research in this field myself because I was buying some vehicles and buying some cars myself. And I just saw all these massive sites coming at everything from a very broad, you can say, perspective, talking about all the general stuff. So I saw a lot of opportunity to go in there and go after the long tail keywords. So I saw that opportunity and went hard after it. That's definitely also what got me onto this niche for sure.
Nice. And was there anything you tried with this business that didn't work out as well?
Yeah, so I tried a ton of different types of articles early on because it was a new niche to me. And there was a lot of that didn't work, but luckily some worked that I could grow with and scale out. And since this is such a big, the automotive is such a big, I wouldn't even call it a niche, but like a major industry or vertical, so to speak. So it's just so much to go into. So some of the stuff that didn't work were types of article, types of content that I was just testing a whole lot of stuff early on until I sort of, you can say, found my formula for building this site.
Yeah, nice. And that's nice to hear because you said you did a ton of keyword research, but I think there maybe is this assumption for first-time website builders that you have to like get everything right in the beginning. But it sounds like what actually is the reality is that this was a process where you tested out different keywords and it helped you to hone in ultimately on the direction that you took your content. Is that accurate?
Yeah, because early on I just needed this. I guess I needed Google to see me as an expert in a limited space, so to speak, and then I could sort of grow out from there. And of course, as links started coming to the site and now the domain authority is pretty up there, after a while, after a few years, I could start going after the bigger topics as well with way more traffic. And yeah, so that's definitely the process and a really fun learning.
Okay, great. That sounds like you did a lot of great keyword research that really contributed to the success. That's really great to hear for this site. So now, I guess, what does the workload look like? Or can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
Yeah, so at this point, it's pretty passive on my end. I don't spend a lot of time on it. So now I do the keyword research. I also write some of it, actually, just because it's a niche I enjoy. So eventually I'll write a piece or two. But it's mostly just overseeing things. So I have my own editor and writers working on the site. And it's really down to 5 or 10 hours. Sometimes I'll take several months off. And yeah, it's been growing steadily. And I feel like it's good, easy site to take over because it's not complex. It's super simple. And I'd say my day-to-day work on it are just simple tasks that you would need for any content site, really.
Yeah. You mentioned that you bought some cars or you were looking into cars around this time and that kind of, I'm not sure if you built this site kind of alongside that. Do you think that was important to have that personal connection to this in order to, I don't know if you needed that to be successful, but did that play any role in how you built the site?
Yeah, I think so. Also because I do have an interest in cars and I really enjoyed taking all these pictures myself and just immersing myself in the niche, especially early on. Because in the beginning, obviously, it was just myself. I had one writer helping me out in the beginning. So it requires a lot of passion, I'd say, to get something like this off the ground. So I think that initial interest in it and doing daily searches myself, looking for cars and buying a few cars, selling a few cars, just all those little searches definitely got me on into the right path of thinking about it in the right direction and also seeing some of these opportunities.
Yeah, because when you go through that yourself, you kind of, I mean, of course, performing keyword research, but you get to know more of the specifics of like pain points that you yourself experience or you yourself are curious about as you go through the process yourself. And I imagine that made you better at the keyword research in terms of what other people are similar to you maybe, or we're searching for as well.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. Because being one of the customers or the readers of the site yourself, so to speak, or being your own audience is always a good thing. I feel like you can put yourself in the reader's shoes for sure.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about the opportunities. If you were to keep the business, what are some ways you would try to grow it?
I think by far the biggest potential here is to go in and add affiliate links just throughout the content, because it's 1% monetized with affiliate, and which is, so you can say I've done a really bad job. I haven't done the job of adding affiliate links. And that's also after talking to some of your colleagues about listing aside. There needs to be some opportunity and some potential for a new owner to go in and add some more revenue to the site, obviously. So that's by far the biggest opportunity here. So 99% monetized with display ads. So anybody who knows a little bit about affiliate marketing can go in and add some of those links also to a lot of existing content, because it is talking about a lot of products and stuff. I just didn't get to it. I wanted to make it an easy sell, and it was already making a good deal of money. Yeah, so that's definitely one of the opportunities there.
Yeah. And that is a huge opportunity, because if anybody who is looking at this listing, they can see the size of this business. And despite not having really much of affiliate presence at all on the site, it's driving this much traffic and generating this much income. So yeah, that's a very exciting growth opportunity for sure, especially for somebody who does have some experience with the Amazon Associates side.
No, I just wanted to briefly mention we're also at a historic low on the display ad payouts. So the RPMs, I'm sure the buyers are aware, but they are historically low right now. So there's also the opportunity for those to come back up. So they follow the macroeconomic trends. So whenever anybody starts talking about recession or something like that, ad rates go down, they sort of follow the big stock market trends. So yeah, like we saw in 7, 8, and 9 with the financial crisis there, it dips down, but then it comes back up. That's how the stock market works, and that's how RPM works. So there's also an opportunity for sure in the future that the site will start earning more just from the same traffic that it's seeing right now.
Yeah, that is a good point, that maybe it just over time, the site will go back on a higher incline. Maybe that is a good segue into talking about the risks then, because you're kind of talking about how there can be some dips that are dependent on the macroeconomic environment. What do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
As always with these content sites, it's very reliant on Google, obviously. So the majority of the traffic is coming from Google. So you can say it's double-sided sword. It's both an opportunity to grow some extra revenue streams into the site, but it's also a risk, of course. I mean, if that one income stream does take a dip. I would say, though, that the site lost all the featured snippets January. So those are already gone, you can say. So that's not a future risk because it's already reflected in the numbers. Maybe that's more of an opportunity for those to maybe come back, who knows? But yeah, there's always the Google algorithms. But other than that, I'd say I don't see a whole lot of risk to it because, as I mentioned, I did build this like in a very clean SEO way without link building and such. I don't see it in any way getting hammered by Google in an update and lose like a lot of traffic. But who knows? It's always a dance with Google, right?
Yeah. Well, it's good to see that this site was built on a solid foundation, and it has gone through some of the changes from the algorithm updates, and we could see kind of where the traffic and the revenue normalized after that. Okay. So a few housekeeping questions then to wrap this up. How much support are you willing to offer a new buyer?
I think I put in there like 2 to 3 months of email support. We can do some calls. So whatever a buyer would need, I'll definitely be open to that. That said, it is a very, very simple business. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to it. There's not a lot of products or things to understand here. It's basically just a lot of content that ranks well in Google. But I'm definitely open to offer some, for example, email support, and we can also do some calls once in a while.
Nice. That's great. Okay. And would you commit to a non-compete on this business after it's sold?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. And are you open to something like an earnout?
I think like most sellers, I prefer not to. It's always nice to have all the cash in hand. Of course, depends on the multiple. If anybody wanted to do that, I mean, let's talk and see how it goes. I would prefer not to, but yeah.
Sure.
I also understand for the business this size, and it might be a lot of money for most folks. And if necessary, it's something we can definitely look into.
Nice. All right. And last 2 questions. Putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
Like we mentioned, just by adding affiliate links to the site, really just spending a few days, a few weeks doing that should definitely add some more revenue to the site. So I think it's a no-brainer that this can make more money than 99% display ads. So there's definitely some potential there. Anybody who knows a little bit about affiliate marketing could also do it myself, but I'd rather list it as a really interesting asset that moves. So I definitely think it's an interesting asset for anybody who's been doing just a little bit of affiliate marketing.
Nice. Definitely an exciting growth opportunity. Yeah, that's a really interesting thing that it could potentially take just a few weeks to do this, but because of this presents a very strong growth opportunity for somebody to acquire the business and really kind of course, not guarantee an increased return, and even more increased return, but you're putting a buyer in a great position for that likelihood. So yeah, definitely an interesting asset to buy here. Well, is there anything you'd like to add that you think I might have missed during the interview?
No, I think you covered it well. Some good questions.
Okay, great.
I don't have anything else at this point.
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, if anybody does have any further questions, I highly recommend scheduling a call with Morten to discuss anything from the listing that you see or any questions that you have about the business. So on that note, I think this is the perfect place to wrap up. So Morten, thank you so much for sharing your story and joining us on today's episode. And I hope your business is purchased in the near future and by the right buyer.
Yeah, thanks. Good day to you too.
Yeah, thank you. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 69365. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.